Imagine waking up every day surrounded by crystal blue oceans, working on a floating city, meeting people from all over the world. Sounds like a dream, right? But behind the glamour of cruise ships lies a side few ever see. Long hours, low pay, no privacy, isolation, and sometimes even danger. This is the dark side of working on cruise ships. And trust me, it's not on the brochure. So stay tuned to our channel, The Curious Corner. From the outside, cruise jobs look like a paid vacation. Free travel, free food, parties, beautiful destinations. But talk to anyone who's done it long enough, and you'll hear a very different story. Most crew members work 10 to 14 hours a day, sometimes 7 days a week for months without a single day off, all while living in cramped rooms below deck, away from sunlight, and often away from any form of comfort. Working at sea is not just exhausting, it can be dangerous. There are stories of people falling overboard, crew members crushed by machinery, fires, floods in the lower decks, even suicides, especially among overworked staff. Most cruise lines operate under flags of convenience, registering ships in countries with lax labor laws. That's why ships are often flagged in Panama, Liberia, or the Bahamas, not where the company is actually based. This means crew members don't get the same protections you'd expect in the US, UK, or Europe. Minimum wage? Not guaranteed. Worker rights? Questionable. They call it a global opportunity, but in reality, it's a legal loophole that keeps workers silent, replaceable, and underpaid. The average cruise ship worker earns as little as $500 to $900 a month. For the amount of hours they put in, that's barely $2 to $3 per hour. Most workers come from developing countries where opportunities are scarce, such as Philippines, India, Indonesia. Cruise lines exploit cheap labor to keep costs down. They sign lengthy contracts, often with harsh rules. Some even pay hefty recruitment fees before they're hired, plunging into debt before their first shift. And the work, it's non-stop. You're always on call, always smiling, even when you're exhausted. Crew cabins are often shared by 2 to 4 people. No windows, no privacy, just a bed, a curtain, and a locker. Bathrooms, shared, Wi-Fi, expensive and slow. And your only me time is maybe 15 minutes in a noisy mess hall between shifts. Mental health struggles are common. Depression, anxiety, burnout. And it's rarely talked about because if you complain too much, you're replaced. Speak out and you could be terminated, fired, dropped off at the next port. No compensation, no questions asked. And it gets darker. There have been countless reports of verbal abuse, sexual harassment, and even assault among crew members, sometimes by higher-ups. A 2023 GAO report stated that sexual assault is the most common crime aboard cruise ships. But due to international waters and flags of convenience, laws are blurry. So why do they keep doing it? For many, it's still more money than they could earn back home. They send every dollar back to support their families. The fine print of cruise contracts, called passenger contracts, can limit your ability to sue, require arbitration in faraway countries, waive liability for many issues like delays, illness, or even crimes. Death at sea is more common than you think. Hundreds of passengers die on cruise ships each year, mostly due to natural causes, but some under mysterious circumstances. As most ships lack independent investigation teams, when someone dies, bodies are kept in cold storage morgues on board. Most ships can store 1 to 3 corpses at a time. No official requirement mandates public disclosure of deaths. Families are sometimes offered hush money in exchange for not pursuing legal action, as it can damage the cruise line's reputation. Cruise lines are not always required to report crimes to authorities, unless it involves U.S. citizens or certain serious offenses. Crimes are often handled under the laws of the country where the ship is registered, not where the passengers are from. Due to offshore incorporation and complex corporate structures, cruise companies pay very little in taxes, despite earning billions. In international waters, environmental oversight is weaker or non-existent. A single cruise ship can emit more sulfur dioxide than 1 million cars in a day. They even dump treated sewage, gray water, and food waste into the ocean, legally when far enough from shore. Some ships have been fined millions for illegally dumping oily waste and falsifying records. Some cruise lines also distort local economies by creating what's known as ghost ports. These are ports developed specifically for cruise tourists, often owned by the cruise lines themselves, where passengers are funneled through controlled environments, buying souvenirs and food from cruise-approved vendors. As a result, the local economy gets little to no benefit while appearing on paper like it's booming with tourists. But there's hope. Organizations and former crew members are speaking out, pushing for better wages, fair treatment, and basic human rights.
To work on a cruise ship? Yes, it is. You work for 7 months, Monday to Sunday in a row.
And cruise companies, they're listening, at least publicly. Some have begun offering slightly better wages, even started to provide more mental health support and wellness days. A few even promise stricter anti-harassment policies. Real changes are most common on luxury lines or union-backed ships. Unions like ITF International Transport Workers Federation help crew report abuse and demand better contracts. So the next time you board a cruise, look beyond the luxury, look beneath the deck, because behind every perfectly folded towel animal and 5-star dinner is someone working tirelessly in silence. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe our channel, The Curious Corner, for more fascinating content.